What does Christmas mean to you? Is it the music that begins on the radios the day after Halloween? Could it be the Black Friday sales that are offered at discounted prices the day after Thanksgiving? When we think about Christmas, what comes to mind? Is it the lights, the trees and the decorations? Is it the food on the tables? The pastor of my church, while I was growing up during my childhood, once said that he wished it could be Christmas all year round. Be careful, Pastor, what you ask for. You might just get it. Over the years, Christmas has been getting earlier and earlier in our society. The songs start earlier. The shopping sales start earlier. And I can honestly say, probably confess, that after about 2 months of Christmas music on the radio, I'm about sick of it by the time December 25th comes across. The Christmas that Pastor Peterson had wished for all year long had nothing to do with the lights and the decorations and the TV specials and the music that played on the radios. He was wishing for a Christmas that was centered on the original meaning of the holiday. And from my memory, and memories are a tricky thing, it's been found that a lot having to do with memory is actually created rather than remembering actual events. And that can be shown when you have two people that have been involved in the same thing over a long period of time, and you ask both people to talk about that scenario. It's often different. But according to my memory now, Pastor Peterson was a very stoic and sometimes grumpy man. Rarely did he smile, and it seems like he was often pointing fingers at us. No wonder I didn't want to go to church very often. His wish was exactly that. An idealistic dream where everyone was kind to one another. They worshipped God in all places and in all things. And they put the good of the whole on a higher pedestal than their own self-centered thrones. He wanted to see a year-long generosity towards others without expecting something in return or expecting some kind of results. He desired that people would stop holding grudges and move forward in the freedom of forgiveness. At times, there are aspects of Pastor Peterson that I see in myself. And when I recognize those times, I ask God for forgiveness and mercy for a hypocrite. One who so easily points out the failures in society or others and yet wants to ignore the insecurities and imperfections of the self. While the ideal year-long Christmas is something to strive for, in reality, it has never existed. That perfect Christmas has never existed. There has never been a time when everything was just right. God created, and He saw that it was good, not perfect. Jesus came because we cannot get it right. His love and grace was demonstrated in his actions toward people like me who want to be in control, who seek personal affirmation, usually in comparison to others, who want to see clean-cut lines between right and wrong, and they would prefer to point out the negatives of others than to have to look in the mirror and face our own. But if we got this kindness thing right, if we were completely generous at all times, if we understood stewardship of creation, and if we forgave generously, we'd still be sinners who have turned away from God with a desperate need of God's mercy and love. Because we, like the Pharisees, would have thought we got it right and were worthy. Well, I believe Christmas is far too commercialized. It is still a season that warms the heart. And while there's way too much emphasis on the songs on the radio and on gift giving for obligational purposes, having to give to somebody because they gave to us, at least there is still a compassion to give gifts. And while we lose some of the skills of building and nurturing relationships through the technology of email and social media and texting, we still come together during the holidays. In every situation, we can find blessings and curses. Whatever it is that we seek, we will find. In the exact same situation, some people will find blessings and others will see curses. It's no different from the birth story. Some praised the coming of God, others saw him as a threat. The world was full of negativity when Christ was born, when he lived, and it caused him to die when he did. Yet in the midst of that darkness, he was a light of hope and of promise. Not everyone can see hope and promise through their perspective. So this Christmas season, which it still is, by the way, even though Christmas Day is past, this Christmas season, let's also be lights of Christ that help to overpower the darkness and the fear. This Christmas, let's not be satisfied with how everybody else sees the world. This Christmas, let's challenge ourselves, our beliefs, our understanding of faith, and step out in trust. Trusting God's promises by giving him the glory rather than ourselves. And loving and sharing mercy to our neighbors that can only be done with the help of God. May your Christmas season and your New Year be both challenging and blessed. We'll now take the offering.